welcome to Inside City Hall. Today we're joined by Ernie Garza, Director of Public Works, and Jeff Edmonds, Director of Engineering Services of the City of Corpus Christi. Now, these two departments work closely together to help keep our city running smoothly, but their roles are very different. Public Works handles the day-to-day maintenance of our streets and infrastructure, while Engineering Services handles the planning, delivery, and design of our capital and bond projects. Today we're going to learn more about what each of these departments do, how they work together, and we'll highlight some of their recent successes. Jeff, Ernie, thanks for being here. So to start, can each of you describe your department's core mission and its responsibilities? Ernie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so our core mission at Public Works is to provide maintenance and operation services in streets, as well as stormwater and traffic operations. So a lot of people know Public Works as just the street department, but we do provide stormwater services for the city. And then a big component is also traffic operations. And so a lot of the pavement markings, the signals, the operational function of those, coordination of those signals and timing, that's all Public Works. And then we also branch out into environmental components as well. We have environmental inspectors, making sure that pollutants are not ending up in bays and estuaries. And so we do branch out in a lot of ways beyond just our street functions.
And Jeff, core missions and responsibilities for engineering services?
Well, it's actually very simple. Our mission is to manage the delivery of the capital improvements program.
Right.
So that's pretty much anything that involves construction to deliver.
So for someone who might not understand the difference between the two departments, can you explain the distinction a little bit more between engineering services and public works?
Well, so we don't operate or maintain infrastructure.
Okay.
We are focused on delivering construction projects, and that can be anything from airport to water.
Right.
And so the bond program is most of our interaction with the street department is delivering the street bond projects.
Okay. So how would you explain the difference, Ernie?
To the non-technical person, like Jeff mentioned, you have the bond program, which is, say, for example, building Everhart, roadway.
Yeah.
That is 100% Jeff's department, handling the delivery of the planning and then also working through the design. All Public Work does in that respect is just prioritize which roads need to be worked on, and we send those priorities up, and then they get selected for bond projects. So that's the main difference. But for us, Public Works, like Jeff just mentioned, our core function is maintenance and operations. What confuses most folks is that the rapid pavement program is developed by Public Works and planned and designed by Public Works, and then it's delivered by Jeff's department in construction.
Okay.
And so if I was to give you an example, bond program is you go through the drive-through at McDonald's, you place your order, Jeff takes that order, and he delivers the result. The RPP program is like Subway. We get involved in making the sandwich as well. Ultimately, engineering department delivers. So that's kind of the overlap.
Interesting. Okay. So y'all are two different departments with two different sets of responsibilities, but how do your departments work together, and what does that collaboration look like from the start of a project to its completion?
Well, so the way we operate with any operating department, when we're delivering one of their projects, they're involved with the design, and they're given opportunities at various stages of development to review those drawings and have input into what is ultimately going to be delivered. Additionally, with Public Works, there is a lot of interaction on the construction side because we have temporary traffic controls and detours and things like that. And their traffic engineering division handles reviewing and approving all of those traffic controls.
Okay, so Ernie, let's go ahead and focus on Public Works for a second. So what are some of the services that residents might have noticed Public Works providing in their own neighborhood?
Yeah, so one of the main ones, and it's not one that we're proud of, is pothole patrol. Just
Right.
filling potholes is all Public Works. So that's something that they notice right away. Some other services that we provide is street sweeping. And then also dewatering of, water collecting after storms. We'll bring in sweepers. We'll get rid of that water in neighborhoods. In addition to that, you also see, our Vector trucks cleaning out inlets. It's just a huge vacuum cleaner. Basically what it is anytime there's a storm event and there's a lot of trash in an inlet, we'll go and vacuum all that trash out so that it doesn't cause a situation where water ends up in private property. And we also do other functions, throughout the city that the folks might see. In addition to that, we get calls for our stormwater fee, just answering questions on, why they pay what they pay and what services we provide for that fee. So you can see it kind of going from streets to stormwater. And then also we'll get calls about, hey, my street sign is faded and how do I get it replaced? That's our traffic section. They'll go and manufacture a sign at Public Works and they'll go out there and replace it.
So y'all are pretty busy in the neighborhoods.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, we're busy.
Earlier you mentioned the Rapid Pavement Program, or RPP. It's one of the city's most popular initiatives. So can you describe how it works and explain why it's been so successful?
So the Rapid Pavement Program is a program specifically aimed at fixing residential streets. That was our council priority. That was really the mission that the city manager gave me when I came to Public Works. And we had something like 370 miles of bad neighborhood streets that we needed to fix in a short amount of time. And so what that program is going and fixing those neighborhood streets, and then bringing what used to be a pothole-ridden roadway into something nice and smooth. The reason that it's successful is that we've gone from completely replacing an entire neighborhood street to just working on the pavement only, and that was something that we brought to council before we even rolled out the program to get their buy-in. And once they said they were good with it, that opened the floodgates for a lot of miles to get done in a short amount of time.
Awesome. I'm sure you get this question a lot, but how do you decide what streets are prioritized for resurface or repavement under the RPP?
All right, we do get that question a lot. And then they even challenge our methodology a lot. But really, it's a scoring system. We hire a consultant to come every 3 years. They drive every single roadway in the city, and they use video and AI technology to normalize the score from 0 to 100, and 0 being the worst street, 100 being the best street. And what we have been doing since we started the program is really focusing on streets with scores from 0 to 10, 0 to 20. And a lot of the work that we've been working on is trying to bring the worst of the worst up to the front. And then we also have combined with that as a cluster approach. And so if you go to any one of our RPP projects, it's usually going to be 4 or 5 neighborhood streets that we're working on at one time. We're trying not to get in the habit of just going into a cluster of 6 bad streets and only fixing one and then leaving. Well, then that would lead to a huge volume of phone calls. Because one, we staged, we worked, we had traffic coming in, traffic going out, and destroying the roads in the process, and then just leaving with one fixed usually causes a lot of problems. So with this new approach, getting the scores, building the clusters, we're able to fix a lot of roads in a small area by stretching the dollar by only working on the pavement.
So what do you think is one of the major reasons for the success of the program?
I would say the major reason is, setting up the assembly line, kind of the whole system.
Right.
Getting with engineering, getting with them, getting their buy-in on what we anticipate to deliver, because we're not out there. Jeff's inspectors are at every single one of those roadways. They're having to inspect 5 crews going at one time. That's a lot of inspection. Keeping up with payment is a huge behind-the-scenes venture. Making sure that we don't spend more than what we have. That's a 100% engineering function. And us always collaborating and having measures and metrics along the way to make sure that we successfully deliver. That's a big part of it. That goes unseen a lot of times, but there's a lot of people involved. You have our designers, Jeff's inspectors, Jeff's finance team, my finance team, our city budget team, many departments. And the reason we're successful is because we're all rowing in the same direction. Really, that's why we're successful.
Nice. So aside from the pavement work and the RPP, what other recent improvements or accomplishments stand out for your department?
Here recently, I'm pretty proud of our traffic team. They've really stepped it up. We were getting a lot of calls on, signals not getting timed and coordinated. So you can imagine, you ever go to an intersection in Corpus and you sit there on a red light and you look to the right and there's no traffic and you're like, well, why is my light red? Well, a lot of people don't realize that those little video cameras up there on the mast arms, and those are all outdated. They only last 5 years at a time. So just this past Tuesday, council approved the purchase of that hardware for 77 intersections, which is going to allow us to update those signals. And now what you have is you have the ability to not only get the right hardware on the mast arms, but also have the data we need to go into our traffic management center at Public Works and make the adjustments so that when you drive from on Staples from Yorktown, or let's just say Oso Parkway all the way to SPID, you can actually hit green lights all the way through because they're all talking to each other. That was not possible 2 and 3 years ago. 2 and 3 years ago, we were just worried that something would rust and fall. So that's how far we've come, and it's been a huge achievement at Public Works.
So pretty soon we can expect better timed lightings.
Oh yeah. So right now Staples has been synchronized.
Perfect.
Rodfield has been synchronized. Airline has been synchronized, and with this new purchase of hardware, we're going to add to that other major corridors in the city.
Awesome. I think that's really good news.
Yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, Jeff, your department manages the city's capital improvement projects. So what type of projects fall under this umbrella?
Well, this is anything that involves construction. This can be anything from like fire station. This, of course, is all the street projects that we contract out construction for. We have treatment plant projects. Probably about half of our portfolio, over half right now, is treatment plant construction projects.
Okay, so you touched on this a little bit earlier, but how does engineering work with other departments like Public Works to deliver projects?
I would say we pretty much work with every other department in the city. Now, Public Works is probably our number 2 customer now, with CCW being the largest customer. But there's a significant amount of interaction. So they participate with us in selecting designers to produce bid documents for projects. They review the deliverables at designated points in development and have feedback into the project design. And then at the end, they're involved with the acceptance inspections and development of punch list items. And then ultimately, when we complete our job, we turn the project over to the operating department for operating and maintenance going forward.
Okay, so the city recently selected several engineering firms to help deliver these capital and bond projects. What is the benefit of this approach to project delivery?
I believe you're talking about what we're calling the mass selection approach. And
Right.
that's something we started doing about 5 years ago, where we get authorization from council to negotiate all of those engineering contracts with a certain ceiling that they have pre-approved for aggregate value on those contracts. And what that allows us to do is take one item to city council and get those selections blessed and get that budget blessed, and we don't have to take all of those contracts back individually. And this can shave 3 to 6 months off of the delivery of each and every one of those projects.
Nice. So, can you highlight a few projects, either recently completed or currently in progress, that maybe most of our residents would recognize?
Well, the ones that they recognize, probably the ones they recognize the most are the ones that actually touch the residents, like the Bill Witt Pool.
Right.
They probably also recognize like Fire Station
Oh
3
yeah,
because
definitely.
that's a very highly visible
Hmm.
project. From road projects, uh, we're hoping to have Everhart in the next 6 months. We finished recently the airport road project, Galahar project. Um, so the road projects and then some of those amenity type of projects that touch the public are probably the ones that they're most familiar with, more so than, say, treatment plant construction projects.
Right. There's some projects that people have to experience every day on their day-to-day commute. So,
Yes.
and this is a question for both of you. Recently, over the past 6 years, there have been some significant improvements in infrastructure, including streets. But over your tenure, what are some of the most significant that stand out to you?
At Public Works, obviously, it's the rapid pavement program. Um, a big part of that is when I got to Public Works in November 22. Uh, what I noticed was there was a huge effort for purchasing equipment. We have equal or better or more capabilities than some of our local contractors at the City of Corpus Christi, which is a game changer for our street program, because when you have the ability to do your work in-house, it cuts a lot of time off of the processes to go from execution and construction, where you plan it to construct. It happens very fast. So we're able to mobilize and fix streets in a short amount of time. That's only possible with this big push to get a lot of equipment there at Public Works. So I would say just equipping us, giving us the budgets for getting the material that we need, and then the labor force that we need. That's key in helping us be successful.
And Jeff, what stands out to you as some of the most significant improvements for infrastructure?
Well, in the 10 years that I've been here, I'll say when I started this job, we had an enormous backlog of deferred maintenance on projects and infrastructure and facilities that had been completely decapitalized. And I think that there has been a commitment over this tenure that has increased year over year to recapitalize our assets, whether that's infrastructure or facilities, and including amenities, things like the Bill Witt Pool, the Cole Park. And so when I first got here, there was sort of an impression that we couldn't have anything nice in Corpus Christi. And I think that has turned around 180 degrees in that period.
So you think things are running a little smoother now?
I think things are better, and we're investing in infrastructure that improves quality of life for everyone in the city.
Great. So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges for engineering services, and how are you addressing those?
Well, the CIP has been increasing year over year for the last 5 or 6 years. And so we have been working hard to stay ahead of that. And I think we've gotten to the point now that we're able to keep up with the demand that's projected going forward on the CIP. So that's been an effort on our part to get more efficient and effective. But our CIP scorecard, we got about 85% of the encumbrances that we planned to make in the past year, which last year we had a $1 billion CIP. So that was about $850 million. That included $650 million of new contract awards. And we're putting work in place at the rate of about $400 million a year and increasing.
Wow, that's impressive. So Ernie, what are some challenges that are facing Public Works, and are you having any issues overcoming those?
No, I think right now, today, our challenges are few, and you would be surprised, right? Because we have a lot of infrastructure to maintain.
Right.
But we're fortunate in that, like I mentioned before, we're all on the same page. We're all delivering. If you've seen past council meetings, I did mention, the budget challenges that are, somewhere in fiscal year 27. And you can ask me that question later, and it might be a different story. We don't know yet. And so I would say today, no real challenges that I can speak to we've been fortunate in that everything is going as planned. But going beyond fiscal year 26 into 27, I think our budget is going to be a challenge for us. And so even today, we are storyboarding what we're going to do and how we're going to do it in the event that we don't have the budgets to keep the pace that we're going at right now. So we're providing solutions for tomorrow, and that's how you're successful. Really, is trying to be proactive about things and getting ahead of the problem. So hopefully we can accomplish that in 27. And if you ask me that question in 27, hopefully we had a good solution going into 27.
So earlier you mentioned the outdated cameras on the traffic lights.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other new technologies that Public Works is using to increase efficiency?
Yeah. Well, to speak to the hardware that we bought, that's a platform. That's no traffic platform. So that's the hardware and the software that goes into communications with our TMC at Public Works. And when I say TMC, we have a traffic management center at Public Works. So very much like your NASA movies, where you have screens everywhere. We can see all the intersections going on at the same time, people on controls, monitoring the signals. We have that at Public Works, and so at any given time, we can make adjustments to signals real time. And they use AI technology to help us identify issues before they happen, so that we can adjust. So that's a big one that we have at Public Works. Another one is we were late to obtain the technology. Solid Waste and CCW have it, but we've implemented all our equipment with Samsara. That's the video that shows anybody operating a Public Works vehicle. You can see what they're seeing, and then you can see what the driver is seeing. So that one also has AI. So the minute a driver makes the motion of being on the cell phone, that alerts a dispatch at Public Works, and then they can go and call that person and say, "Don't be on your cell phone."
Oh, wow.
Also, we can track, that vehicle if it's been idle. So say they went to the job site and it's been idle for 3 hours, and then we pick up the phone call, say, "What are you doing? Where are you going? Are you on mission?" And so that's going to help our efficiency hugely. Um, and then we also have a lot of people don't know this. We have 2 drones at Public Works, and we have individuals that have their pilots license to operate those drones. So our traffic section has a payload for monitoring traffic, and then our street section has a payload for using LiDAR to catch elevations of our stockpiles. So when we buy material and we're measuring it as it depletes to zero, we can keep track of the costs. And so we're using drone technology, AI technology, and then any other technologies we can help us get ahead of the game and save money for the taxpayer.
So it sounds like you're not only increasing efficiency, you're also increasing safety.
Yes, yeah,
And
very
so
much
just
so.
just to clarify, does Public Works have like a control room or something where they monitor all of these cameras?
Yes, yeah, we have what the traffic management center is plugged in to about 252 intersections in the city,
Wow.
and we share our feeds with PD, fire department if needed. And then in addition to that, we have access to TxDOT's systems and cameras as well. So at any given time, our technicians are monitoring the intersections for operation and efficiency and safety. There's a major incident at an intersection, it sends a notice to us, a notification to us, and we can provide a response to that intersection if needed. So there's a lot of technology involved in what we do now at Public Works.
Nice. So just I assume it's different for you, but has engineering services implemented any new type of technologies?
Well, a lot of folks don't realize it that haven't been in construction, and they think of construction as just concrete and rebar
True.
and pavement. But the construction process generates an enormous amount of documentation, and the management of that documentation has improved dramatically. And we use a system called eBuilder that we acquired about 5 years ago. And we've been automating all of our processes in eBuilder to smooth that document flow. which is helping us do more with less. We used to do when I got here 10 years ago, we had people running hard copy documents all around for signatures. And what happens now is all of these workflows are automated, and uh, documents are routed electronically through the sequence that they need to go through, and it's helped us to streamline the process and expedite payments to contractors, and be able to be more efficient with the labor hours that we put into it.
Okay. And does Public Works have access to this e-builder?
Absolutely,
Great.
yes.
Awesome. How do you measure success in engineering services, and what results are you most proud of?
Well, the big picture is completed projects and successfully completed projects, and the reason that's important is that we go out with general obligation bonds every 2 years, and those have to be voted on by the public. And we want them to have confidence that we are delivering these projects. And I think the popularity of those programs and the success of those referenda is a testament to that successful project delivery.
And Ernie, what metrics do you look at to measure the success of Public Works?
Yeah, so we have our formal and informal metrics,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So our informal metrics are the phone calls from the public,
Mm.
and getting that feedback, and so that informal, feedback has been positive here lately. When I first got to Public Works, it was challenging, because we had a lot of streets that were in bad condition. But since we initiated the rapid pavement program, we've completed over 100 miles of streets in a very short amount of time, since 2023 to today. Um, and 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 that's been a big change. We that volume has gone down. We know that there's still a lot of roads left to fix, and we're working on that. Formally, our metrics are mileage. We track how many miles do we get done in a fiscal year, and that's our number one metric that we track in streets. We have many in stormwater. We mow, we sweep, we vacuum inlets, we perform environmental inspections. All of those have been summarized, for council, and we summarize those every year to make sure that we hit our mark. And then now traffic, we have new metrics for traffic that we develop. The operations of those intersections. Uh, you might have noticed, but we've also implemented a striping program. So now where you used to see faded stripe on streets, we've made a effort to go out there and restripe a lot of those faded roadways. So Port Avenue was a big one. It was a concrete street. We went down there, and there was no stripe left. We didn't even know where the center line was at. So we got contracts in place to get those roads striped, and now we have a full list of mileage that we're tracking for that one. So on the traffic side, we track mileage, and then also the operations of the intersections as well. And one technical aspect that I didn't add was that we have recently implemented the use of OpenGov, or what we call Cartograph. So every single asset that the city owns, the street, signal, sign, bike lane, it's all digitized on GIS. And now we tie our effort and our use of resources to the monies and the budgets that we get every fiscal year, and so we can track everything. And so that's the goal: is making sure that every penny is spent wisely and efficiently for the taxpayer, and we're using that technology to do that.
So it sounds like a lot of your projects are continuously ongoing, but what are some of the projects that you're most excited about for the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, for the next 3 to 5 years, we set a goal with council, with the city manager, myself, to try to complete, in residential streets, 373 miles of road repair for the residential streets. And so we're a little over 100 miles into that goal. And so we're gonna keep on going until we hit that number with this program, with this approach. And so that's our number one goal for Public Works, is to hit that mileage.
So, Jeff, looking into the future, what projects are you most excited about for the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, regarding streets, I'm really excited to get Everhart done, and
That is a
and
major
Yorktown.
project. Yeah.
We've got a couple more similar projects that are coming up in probably the next 6 months, starting. One would be Flower Bluff Drive, and then we've got two sections of Alameda that are in the pipeline. Uh, Additionally, the we're going to be involved in delivering some of the water supply. If you follow council, we're moving into the groundwater supply. I think we're going to be involved in that extensively.
So, a lot of important projects coming up for engineering services, to say the least.
Yes, sir.
So, what is one thing that you want the residents of Corpus Christi to know about the work that engineering services does?
Well, the one thing that I say to them all the time is please have patience when they're interacting with us when we're doing our job. It's usually on these arterial road projects where we have uh, traffic controls in place and lane reductions, and it can cause delays and inconvenience. And I always say, please be patient and uh, be mindful of safety. And if you don't need to use the area, find an alternate route. And when this is done, when the dust settles, I think you'll enjoy this roadway for decades to come. And so by doing it this way, getting all of the underground infrastructure renewed at the same time we're doing the surface, it will pay dividends for many, many decades to come.
So, really, there's no convenient time to get this work done, but it's absolutely necessary.
It is necessary to get these roads reconstructed, get the utilities reconstructed to modern standards, and it's something that can't be done easily. You know, a lot of people don't realize the challenge that you face when you've got an arterial corridor and you're trying to completely rebuild it while maintaining one lane of traffic in each direction, access to each and every adjoiner continuously, and continuous utility service while you're replacing all of the utilities, and make sure it's not going to flood if you get a rainstorm during construction. There's a lot of moving parts on those projects, and to make all of that happen is not a simple task.
Right. So, Ernie, what do you want residents to know about Public Works and the work that it does?
One, I want the public to know that we live here too. All of Public Works employees, 300 plus. Um, we are also residents of Corpus Christi, and we care about what they care about. And so I want them to rest easy that the commitments that we have are, the type of effort that we would like to see, because it's our asset as well. So that's one of the main things. Another one is that Public Works. Hopefully, the takeaway is that you understand that Public Works is always improving, always continuously improving, and we take that to heart when we're trying to make sure that when the public is wondering, am I getting my taxpayers' money's worth? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, where we come from, because we hold ourselves accountable to very high standards, and at all levels. So hopefully, when you go to any technician out in the field, or one of the engineers at Public Works, they're excited about their job. They're committed to a metric or a goal that we've set for ourselves, and we achieve it at the end of the year. And hopefully, the public understands that we have their best interests at heart.
I'm sure you both get a lot of questions when you're out at the store or at church, but how do residents find updates on these projects that are ongoing? Jeff?
Well, I would say go to the city's website, and there is updated information on there about all of the major projects that we're working on.
How would somebody submit a service request to Public Works, Ernie?
Right. So the service requests are through the 311 system.
Okay.
They'll go in and submit a ticket for 311, and then that gets routed to our teams at Public Works. So that's the fastest way. But you can call Public Works directly, and we'll make a ticket for you, but we'll make sure that your concern gets addressed.
Well, I thank you both for your time and explaining the differences and similarities between engineering services and Public Works.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Inside City Hall. For more information on today's topics, visit our website and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay connected, stay informed, and stay tuned for the next Inside City Hall.